Hey guys, so for this tutorial I'll be using 3 colours of double knit yarn, light pink, dark pink and white. You'll also need a key ring and a lobster clasp. You don't have to use a clasp if you don't have one, it's just to help attach the key ring. And you'll also need a pair of scissors and some soft toy filling or stuffing. You can also use scrap wool or scrap yarn, and I'm using a size 3.5mm crochet hook. So in this tutorial we'll start by crocheting the jellyfish head, and for this I'll be using the light pink color. So to start off you want to make a magic circle, and we will use half double crochets throughout this whole pattern. So to start off the first round you want to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and then crochet 8 half double crochets into this magic circle. So that's my first one and my second. So now that I've made my 8 half double crochets, I'm going to grab this tail end and pull the yarn tight to close the circle. I'm going to then slip stitch into the first half double crochet of this round, so not into the chain 2 but into that first half double crochet. Then I'm going to make my slip stitch and chain 2. For the second round we're going to make 2 half double crochets in each stitch all the way around. So the first one I make 1 half double crochet, then I'll go into that same stitch and make another. We'll do the same thing in the second stitch, make 2 half double crochets. So by the end of this round you should have 16 half double crochets. Just like that, you want to carry on until the end of the round, all the way there. You can pause the video now and I'll see you then. So now I have 16 half double crochets, and just like in the previous round I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull on my tail to make that circle a bit smaller in the middle, like so. And now I'm going to crochet 2 chains, and then in that first stitch here I'm going to make 1 half double crochet, just like so. And in that second stitch I'm going to do 2 half double crochets in that same stitch. So I've made 1, I'm going to go back into that same stitch and make a second half double crochet. And to basically increase in this round we're going to repeat the pattern of 1 half double crochet in one stitch and then 2 half double crochets in the next. So 1, and go back into that same stitch and make your second half double crochet. So by the end of this round you should have 24 half double crochets. So carry on doing that until the end of the round. You can pause the video now and I'll see you there. So I've just finished with a 2 half double crochet in the same stitch, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round, just like so. Now this next round, round 4, will be our last row of increases. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, start off with a half double crochet in that first stitch, make another half double crochet in the second stitch, and then make 2 half double crochets in that third stitch. So 1, go back into that same stitch and make the second half double crochet. So we're going to follow this pattern of 1 half double crochet in 2 stitches, 2 half double crochets in the next. So in that next stitch I'm going to make 1 half double crochet, and then in the next again 1 half double crochet, and then finally in that next stitch I'm going to make 2 half double crochets going into that same stitch. So 1 and 2, and again 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and in that next stitch 2 half double crochets. You want to repeat this pattern all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of the round. You can feel free to pause the video now. So I've just finished the round with a 2 half double crochets in one stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of this round. So that is our increasing rounds done. So now for the next round we're going to chain 2, just like so, and we're going to make 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. So go into that first stitch right there, make a half double crochet, then again into the next, and just like that into every single stitch we're going to make 1 half double crochet. You want to carry on doing this all the way around, and you can feel free to pause the video now and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm near the end of this round, and you want to keep doing your half double crochets just like so. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch, and that's the end of our round. So you want to repeat this for 3 more rounds, where you make 1 half double crochet in every stitch, and I'll see you at the end of the 3 rounds. So now we have made 4 increasing rounds and then 2 normal rounds of just half double crochets in each stitch. And now it's time to change colours. So I'll show you how I change colours. You can feel free to use whichever method you would like. So what I'm going to do is just cut my yarn there and get my new yarn. I'll be using the colour white. You guys can feel free to use whichever colour you want. And with your new colour, you want to go ahead and make a slip knot, just like so. Put the slip knot onto your crochet hook and pull the new loop through the loop of your old colour. And then just pull on the tail end of the new colour yarn to tighten it, and then tie the 2 tail ends together. So you should have 1 tail end of your old yarn and 1 tail end of your new yarn. And I like to make a double knot here, just to make sure it's all secure. And that is how I change colours. So now you should be ready to crochet in your new round. And what I like to do is just get my tail ends and align them alongside my work, so I crochet over them. So to start this round, you want to chain 2 and make 1 half double crochet into that first stitch right there. This whole round will basically just be us making half double crochets into every single stitch. So into that next stitch right there, I'm going to make another half double crochet. And then again, into that next stitch, I'll make another half double crochet. And I'm making sure to crochet over my tail ends as well, just to make sure that they're all weaved in. If you don't do that here at this part, then at the end you will have to weave in your ends. When I've got an appropriate amount of tail end in my work, I like to just let it stick out for a little bit and carry on half double crocheting as normal. So what you guys want to do is just carry on making 1 half double crochet all the way around for 2 rounds. And you can feel free to pause the video now, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've just made my last half double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch of the round right there. So for round number 2, we're going to make another chain 2 and carry on like we did before, by making 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. This round is just a repeat of the previous one, so you can feel free to pause the video now, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've just slip stitched into the first stitch of the round, and now to start the next one, we're going to crochet 2 chains, and in that first stitch right there, we're going to make 8 half double crochets into the same stitch. Now we're going to go into the next stitch and make another 8 half double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. So again, I'm going into that next stitch right there and making another 8 half double crochets. And basically in this whole round, what you want to do is make 8 half double crochets in each stitch. So this round does take up a lot of yarn, and it can get a bit fiddly as you get closer to the end of the round, but please make sure that you are making 8 half double crochets in every stitch, and just carry this on around the whole round. And you can feel free to pause the video now, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm at the end of the round, and I'm sorry this is a bit out of focus, but what I'm trying to do here is slip stitch into the first half double crochet of this round. And now what we will do is we will go ahead and change colours. So this is our second colour change. You can feel free to use whichever colour you like, but I will be using a darker pink. Feel free to change colours however you would like. I showed you guys how to change colours earlier on in this video, so you can jump back to the timestamp for that. But for the sake of time, I'm going to just skip to the next round. Feel free to pause the video now. So I've just changed colours, and to start off this round you want to make a chain 1, and in the first stitch here we will make 1 single crochet. So this whole round is basically made up of 1 single crochet into each stitch of the previous round. So here I'm making another single crochet, and then again in the next stitch another single crochet. As I'm crocheting, I've got my tail ends alongside my work, and I'm making sure that I am crocheting over them just so it's all weaved in nicely. And yeah, all you want to do is just keep crocheting, make 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way around. Please do not skip any stitches. I know it can be a bit hard with the stitches going kind of everywhere in a squiggly way, but keep crocheting. Feel free to pause the video now, and just as always, I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've just made my last single crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. And that is the head of our jellyfish all done. It's already looking so cute. So before we move on, go ahead and cut off the yarn, leave like a few inches, and basically yarn over and pull through to make a little knot, and just pull on it tightly to make it more secure. At this point I thought the jellyfish was looking a bit weird, so I kind of pleated the stitches over to make the frills look a bit nicer. Sorry, I don't know the actual term for it. So yeah, that's what I was just doing here. And now we're going to crochet the base of the jellyfish before we get to the tails. By base, I mean the underside of the jellyfish, and for this bit I'll be using the darker pink, and we want to start off by making a magic circle. And what we're doing here is we'll basically replicate the first part of the head of the jellyfish. So you want to make 2 chains and make 8 half double crochets into the magic circle, similar to the start of this video. Once you've made your 8 half double crochets, slip stitch into the first stitch of the round and pull on the tail end just to make that hole of the magic circle smaller. And then to start off round 2, make 2 chains. For this round we will be making 2 half double crochets in every stitch. So in that first stitch I've just made 2 half double crochets, into that next one I've made 1, back into that same stitch, made my second. And in total for this whole round you should have 16 half double crochets. So I've just made my last half double crochet, and just like always I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round. Now for round 3 we'll do another chain 2, and in that first stitch we will make 1 half double crochet. In that second stitch we will make 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and then we will repeat this pattern. So the next stitch 1 half double crochet, in the stitch after 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So you want to carry on increasing this round by doing 1 half double crochet and then 2. And at the end of this round you should have a total of 24 half double crochets. You should end on 2 half double crochets in 1 stitch for this round, and now that I'm finished, I'm going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round. Now for round 4, start off with a chain 2, make 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet in the second, and then 2 half double crochets into the third. So you want to repeat this pattern of 1 half double crochet in the first 2 stitches, so 1 and then 1, followed by 2 half double crochets into the next. Just like the previous round, you should finish with 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and then go ahead and slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the round. And that is the base finished, or the underside of the jellyfish finished. And this little piece will fit right there. Now what you want to do is join or align the piece towards the first row of where we started our colour change. So I'm trying to show you in this video where I'm going to put my crochet hooks and which stitches I'm going to go into. And what we'll do is we'll basically crochet into the half double crochets of that round and make a slip stitch. So I'm going into the half double crochets of my base and then into the half double crochets of the colour change, the first row of the colour change. Then I'm going to yarn over just like so and just pull through all the stitches including the one on my crochet hook to make a slip stitch. Again going into that next half double crochet and then the next half double crochet of the white yarn, yarning over and pulling the yarn through all the stitches on my hook including that loop as well, and repeating by going into that next stitch and then the next stitch of that half double crochet, and then yarning over and pulling that yarn through all the loops on my hook. This part can be a bit fiddly or a bit difficult, and if you are finding it difficult to crochet this piece on, then feel free to sew it on instead or whatever you find easier. Whilst doing this, you can also see a nice little stitching pattern on the opposite side of the jellyfish head, which gives a little nice design of a darker pink on the white all the way around. And yet you want to carry on just slip stitching the base to the jellyfish head and go around halfway around the circle so you can leave a decent gap to put in the toy filling to stuff our jellyfish head. So I've stitched over half the base together to the jellyfish head, and I've made sure that all of my tail ends are inside that little space there, and I've just got some soft toy filling to stuff it with. You can use as much as you like. You can also use scrap yarn for this part as well, or anything like feathers. I mean, I wouldn't really use feathers, but scrap yarn or toy filling. Just make sure not to overstuff or you'll have a little bulging under the jellyfish. Which I had, and I had to take some of the filling out. So yeah, just mess around with it, see how it looks, if it's too soft, if it's kind of deflated, add more filling if you need. And once you've got an amount that you like in there, you can carry on just stitching the base to the jellyfish head. So just like before, I'm going to go into the half double crochet on my base and then into the half double crochet of the jellyfish head, and then making a slip stitch to join it all together. You should have the same number of half double crochets on your jellyfish head to the number of half double crochets on your circle base, so please do not skip or add any extra stitches. You might find it a bit more difficult because we've stuffed the jellyfish, but unless if you've overstuffed it like me, then it should be okay. So feel free to pause the video now and I'll see you at the end of this. So I'm just making my last slip stitch and I'm clearly having a very difficult time in doing so. This bit does take a little bit longer because you've got so much going on inside the jellyfish. But go ahead, cut off that yarn over and pull through to make a little knot and just pull that tightly to make it more secure. And that is the official end of our jellyfish head. Now what I like to do is put my hook into there and kind of weave that tail end through, just like so. And then I just stuff that tail end inside the jellyfish head so it's hidden there away forever and I don't have to think about it again. And this is what it should look like. So now we're going to make one of the smaller tails, and what you need to do is make a slip knot and crochet 20 chains. Now pick up your jellyfish and attach it to the bottom. So I did about near to the middle on one side, basically wherever you feel like, and I just basically made a slip stitch to the chain, just how I'm showing you in this video. And then what I'll do is I'll just cut off that yarn end and then pull that through the loop of my hook and tighten it to make a knot, and then just tighten the whole thing to make sure it's secure. And I'm just going to put my crochet hook in and use that to weave in the yarn and then just shove it in there alongside the stuffing so I don't have to cut off any more ends, and just to make sure like it doesn't unravel at any point as well. For the bottom end, you want to pull the tail as tightly as you can, but don't rip it like I did here by mistake. Don't cut towards the knot, make sure you just leave about a centimetre or so before you cut it or it will unravel. I actually had to redo this one. And that is your first tail out of the 4 done. So you want to make another one of these chain 20s and attach it opposite to the one that you have just put. Sorry it's a bit out of focus, but this is where I'm attaching my second tail to the base of the jellyfish. And just like before, you want to cut the ends off and make a secure knot, and then just weave that end into the jellyfish. So this is what it should look like so far, and you can see it starting to slowly come together. So now we'll be making the larger tails, and for these you'll need 2 colours of yarn, and they'll go right under the jellyfish's head, just like that. So the colour combos that I will be using is white and dark pink, but you guys can use whatever colour combo you want. So now you want to start off with a slip knot and make 15 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, and then plus another 2, so 1 and 2 for your half double crochets. And now what you want to do is we'll be going into that third chain from the hook, and we'll make 8 half double crochets into that chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. And now into that next chain, you want to go ahead and crochet 2 half double crochets. So 1, and then go back into that same chain and make your second half double crochet. And now into that next stitch, you want to go ahead and make another 8 half double crochets into the same chain. Sorry, I said stitch. And this whole round, you will be repeating 8 half double crochets in one chain, 2 half double crochets in the next, 8 half double crochets in one chain, 2 half double crochets in the next. And you should end this round with a 8 half double crochet in one chain. So now that I finished my 8 half double crochets, I'm going into that next chain and making 2 half double crochets into the same chain. And as you crochet, you should see that your work starts to curl up, and that is exactly what we want. You just want to make sure that you have 15 alternating 8, 2 half double crochets. So feel free to pause the video now, carry on, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I've just done my last 8 half double crochets in that last chain right there, and now before we start the second round, we are going to change colours. So I'm going to use a dark pink. And I'll be changing colours in the same way as before, so if you would like to see, please skip back to the previous timestamp, and for the sake of time, I will go ahead and skip to the next round. You can feel free to pause the video now. We will start this round by making a chain 1, and we will make 1 single crochet in every single stitch throughout this whole round. So in this first half double crochet here, I'm going to go in and make my first single crochet. And I won't be crocheting with my yarn to weave it in. I'll leave my yarn ends hanging out because I'll be attaching this side to the underside of the jellyfish head, and I can always just hide the ends inside the jellyfish head. So just like so, you want to carry on just making 1 single crochet in all of the stitches. It might be a bit hard to see the stitches because your work does twirl around, but try not to skip any stitches. And carry on making your single crochets in every stitch, and I'll see you at the end of this round. You can feel free to pause the video now. So I'm just making my last single crochet, and that is basically our tail done. So now I'm just going to cut the yarn, leave a few inches, and then yarn over and pull through to make a knot. Make sure you pull the ends tightly so the knot is secure, but don't pull it too hard that you rip the yarn. And now you kind of want to mess around with the tail to get its shape, because while crocheting, it can like scrunch up a little bit. So here I am just twisting it and pulling it to get the shape that I like, and you can just carry on doing this until you're satisfied. Now I have already got 2 tails made, but you guys still need to make your second one. So before I attach everything together, you can pause the video here and make your second tail. So I've just got the head of my jellyfish, and I'm going to show you guys where I'll put my tail. So I'm going to attach it to this bit here. I start by inserting my hook in first, and then grabbing the tail ends that has the most leftover yarn, pulling that through onto my hook, and then yarning over and pulling that through to make a knot. I pull it tightly to make sure it's nice and secure, and then what I like to go ahead and do is go back into that same space, grab 1 strand of yarn and pull that through, and then tie the 2 tail ends together. So I'm just making a double knot with these 2 tail ends, and once I've done that, what I like to do is put my hook back into the base and then just grab the tail ends that are sticking out right there and weave it through, just like so. And then I'll use my crochet hook to push those ends into the jellyfish head to like hide it away there forever. Now for the other side of the tail, what I recommend you do is tighten the tail end as much as you can, but then leave about 1/2 centimeter before you cut it off. Here I'm just pulling on the end to tighten it. And then I leave like a really small amount before I cut it off, but I recommend you leave a little bit more just to prevent any unraveling, but it shouldn't unravel here anyways. I also feel like the tail ends add to the look of the jellyfish and looks nice. So now you want to attach your second tail, and I'm doing it to the opposite side as I put the previous one, as you guys can see in this clip. I'm using the exact same method, so you guys can feel free to pause the video here, attach your tails, and I'll show you how I finish up the jellyfish. So here I'm just cleaning up the rest of the tail ends, and for the ones that I didn't weave in, I'm just going to use my crochet hook to weave it in through the stitches before I cut it off, just to make sure it doesn't unravel. So here I'm just weaving this pink yarn through the half double crochets. And then I'm just cutting it off. For these two tail ends, since I've already crocheted over them, I can just go ahead and cut it off like normal. And that is our jellyfish finished. We have yet to make it into a keychain, so the next bit that I am going to show you guys is how to crochet a loop to attach to the top of the jellyfish, where you can attach your keychains or anything that you would like. So for this, I'm using the darker colour pink, and you want to start off by making 16 chains. Now what you want to do is slip stitch into the first chain that we had just made, just like so. And now grab your jellyfish and decide where you want to attach this loop. I tried to get mine as close to the center as possible, so I went into the magic circle and made my slip stitch to attach the loop. Just like so. Now just pull on the tail ends just to make sure it's all nice and tight, and cut off your yarn, leaving a couple of inches of course. You can let it go and tighten it to make a little knot, and then use the two tail ends and tie them together to make a double knot, just to make the loop more secure. Instead of cutting the tail ends, what I'm going to do is put my hook into the jellyfish head, weave it through, and yarn over to pull those tail ends into the jellyfish head and hide it away in there. And we are almost done. Because this is a keyring / keychain tutorial, I have to attach a keychain to the jellyfish. So you can leave your jellyfish just like, or you can grab a medium-sized ring and a lobster clasp, or larger metal rings as well if you want, and just join them together to make a little keychain that you can add to your bag or your keys or your jeans. Attaching this to your jeans would make your outfit so much more cuter actually. But I'm just putting all the little keychains together, the little bits and bobs, and I'm going to attach it to the actual jellyfish itself. I think this bit is the hardest bit out of the whole tutorial. And now that I've finally done it, the jellyfish keyring is done. Look how cute it looks with its little tails and frills. I don't know the technical term for it, I'm so sorry, but it looks so cute. I just want to eat it. I love the colour combos so much. And I really hope you guys liked this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. I really hope you liked and enjoyed making the jellyfish as much as I did. You guys, I was just thinking about this right now. You could add little ribbons to the bottom or beads to like frill it up, make it more sparkly, magical. You could also use sparkly yarn. I'm definitely going to do that when I make my second jellyfish, guys. But yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of playing around with the little frills just to make it look nicer. You know, you can mess around with this to kind of get the shape that you want. And here I'm just appreciating the intricate design of this jellyfish, including those stitches when we were joining the base to the head. And yeah, I really hope you guys found this helpful. Please like, subscribe to see more cuter projects in the future, and leave a comment on anything, what you would like to see next, or maybe how I could improve my tutorials. Thank you for watching. Bye!